Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative. Today we're taking 3 photographs with 3 different cameras. We're going to be using the brand new Polaroid Go, comparing that to an Instax 11. This is going to be colored film but with a black border. And then finally we're going to be using the OneStep2. I'm going to make sure to change this to the very middle exposure so we can get about the same photo as possible. Today our model is going to be my cat Mia. So let's, without further ado, give it a try. I'm going to give a try to the oldest camera that I've had here, the OneStep2. I'm going to be using flash in every automatic setting just to see how this goes. I'm going to be taking it from the same angle. All right, we have our first photo. I'm going to pause here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put it in a nice dark place. Second, we're going to be taking this photo with the Instax 11, Mini 11. So because it takes longer for the Polaroid to develop, about 10 to 15 minutes, than it does the Instax, we're going to fast forward after this just to make sure that we don't, waste time here. And last but not least, we'll be using the Polaroid Go. And putting that underneath. Alright, so one thing I did notice is there were some kind of roller lines on this camera. I haven't used this one in a while, so the image on this one may be a little bit damaged. But let's come back in 15 minutes. Alright, so we have them lined up here. This, of course, is the Polaroid. This, of course, is the Instax Mini. And this is the Go. Let's see, which one should we turn over first? I'm going to turn over the Polaroid. This is the classic one. Let's see what this looks like. It's been about 20 minutes. So we have that vintage look. Now you can already see slightly, we have some scratch lines here, but more or less we have the kind of, let's see, what kind of color is this? I have warm light in my place here around my bed, so this is maybe why we have this kind of warm light, but don't forget, we also had a flash going on too. Now what I can see in the camera is that this image here through the camera lens is showing up darker than it does in real life. So I'm going to try and do my best to adjust this to make this look as it does through my eyes, because this is pretty, there's not a lot of contrast here. It is a vintage looking photo. It is beautiful, but it is a vintage looking photo, and that's what you have to remember a lot of the times with a Polaroid product. Alright, so for the next one, this is going to be the Instax Mini Film, and this may shock you. This one, of course, has a black border, so it may be doing a little bit of something with the color balance here, but you can definitely see there is so much more contrast already. This takes a very short amount of time to actually develop, maybe about 2 minutes. So if you take the photo, you can give it to somebody quick and they can see exactly what it is. This one, again, you do have to wait a little bit longer. So again, we have a nice heavy contrast and cooler colors overall with this. For some reason there's a little speck which was not there, but it does show up in the photo. So we have these two here, and you can see a very clear difference between this and this. So let's see what the Polaroid Go looks like. Whoa, that is different. That is very different. And also, there's another little thing here in the upper left-hand corner, which somebody mentioned in the previous videos. I'll be taking a look at the other photographs that I took, about a mark on the image. Now, let's see here. What do we see here first? It is definitely not as cool as this, as warm as this other image. It is cool, but there's actually a lot of pink hues here. Now, this is brand new film. I did keep it when I'm not using it in the refrigerator. I just loaded it up, and already we have like a little mark here. We have pink here, which stops about right here, and then we have cool light. But this is definitely a much, much cooler shot than in real life. Now, if I had to guess what looks most like real life, it's going to be Instax Mini. Every time. I have other examples here afterwards that we can take a look at. The Instax Mini does look like real life. It has good contrast, but it is, yeah, it's, let me see if I can get this without the little light streaks. It's definitely going to be its own kind of thing. So vintage, I mean, of course, looks like it's from the 70s, with a little bit of kind of like yellowing. Here, cooler temperature, much crisper contrast, and here, I'm not really sure. We have a lot of pink and a lot of cool tones, even cooler than this. Now again, I used flash on the Polaroid camera, the old Polaroid OneStep2. I used the middle exposure, so I tried to leave everything as it was, and right now we are filming under 39 Kelvin lights, 3900. All right, so let's take a look at some other images that we have here, just so we can give you some reference. I said I was going to be doing some daytime photography with the Instax, with the Polaroid Go, and we have the result right here. Now, again, this camera is making this a much clearer image. It is a little bit kind of washed out. The black point is not as high as it seems to be in here. And that's my cat's automatic feeding dish. So yeah, you can definitely see cool tones here. And again, I can see that pink. That pink is right there. I did not notice that in the image before, but it seems to have it kind of, I don't know if that's just something in the process. This is technically supposed to be the same thing, just on a smaller scale. Now let's see, I do not see a mark on this image as I do, let me see, in any other images, do I see a mark? I don't, because somebody was mentioning earlier that they saw a mark on the upper left-hand corner. I don't see it other than this image here, which does not have this white mark. But I want to do a comparison before we look at the other photos between a cityscape on Polaroid Go versus Instax here. Now first you can see the size difference. This has the classic white border. The border in itself, the actual border here, this is more cool white where this is warm white. You can actually see the difference here. And of course the Instax is going to be a longer image. It's going to be bigger. This is just this but shrunken down. But again, you can see that kind of detail in that contrast. Here I would say I see more detail in the image. And here I would say I can see more contrast in the image. Now it's whatever you like it to be, but again, I have to tell people a lot of the time, when you shoot a Polaroid picture, you're going to get more of a vintage look. It's going to have its own look. This one is close to just kind of regular film photography, or technically closer to digital photography, because the tones are going to be a lot cooler in general. And again, this kind of looks like it could be something that I shot on this camera and printed out. So it's very different. Again, you can see it in the borders here where they are differing colors, cooler versus warmer. But this is just how it shoots out. Now, I took a photo of my friend in a store in the Lower East Side. Get a lot of warm tones here. The store itself is not exactly warm, but I did use a giant window that we had so that I could see. I didn't use the flash in this case. I just used that natural light and shone it on her, and it seemed to have made this a very warm image in the back with this kind of auto exposure. So a lot different from this. And let me see here. Again, do you remember this has like this kind of pinkish hue here, and it ends? It does seem like something ends about right here. But again, this was taken during the day inside a business, but using a giant window for natural light. So let's put this to the side, and we'll go with the last daytime photo that I took. And this is kind of one of my favorites because, as you can see, this is a plant facing a window in natural sunlight. I was trying to get this nice shadowy effect, and it definitely does so. This is a very kind of artsy photo. It does look vintage. I like this kind of sunspot that we have here. I think this is a good little photo, but I think we found the clear difference between the Polaroid Go and the Instax Mini 11 at the very least. If you want something that is probably true to life, very crisp with high contrast, go with the Instax Mini, as we have here. Now, if you want something that's more vintage, quote-unquote artsy, go with the Polaroid Go, or even, of course, the original Polaroid. Now, this is I-type film. You can also shoot with 600 film on that same camera. But yeah, this is basically the difference that we have here. It's good to see all these photographs under this kind of bright studio light, and I think everything works out. Again, if you guys have any questions or something that's specific that you want me to shoot, this has been the comparison, first of all, between 3 photos: Polaroid Go, Instax Mini 11, and Polaroid OneStep2 on 600 film, regular but with black border, and the I guess there's only one Polaroid Go film right now. It's the color Go film. And then, of course, these are other Polaroid Go's. These were shot at night. Let's take a very quick look at these because I made the video already. Oh, it is really upping the exposure here for some reason. I think it's trying to see the details in this image. It's weird that it did that with the exposure right now. I did not touch anything. Again, these are nighttime shots. Hard to see a lot of detail, but still some detail. Alright guys, so we've been taking a look at a bunch of these. Let's take one last look here. That's the contrast on an Instax Mini 11 photo. This is what I took today. This is what I took of my friend. This is what we just shot here with my cat. You can see that pink tone. It's definitely there. Now I'm wondering if that's some kind of an issue or if that's just the style that we're going to get. And finally, we have the normal Polaroid film. Alright guys, if you have any questions, comments, or anything, I don't think that wanted to focus. Put it in the comments section below. Don't forget I'm on Instagram at m8b9. You can email me at matt8b9@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, I do want to shoot more with this. I live in New York City, so I can definitely go around and get shots. I am a big fan of this tiny little camera, the Polaroid Go. It is just something that I can put in my pocket. It is sleek. The photos are smaller than an Instax, whether that be good or bad for you. More pocketable, maybe you can put this in the back of a phone case, but this camera, definitely I could see myself using it. So I'm happy with it. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.